And we are live. Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the July 2022-23 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy. Nice is in the word saint spelled backwards. And my host today, my co-host, as usual, the lovely First Lady J. We got Walk, host of Sex Talk with Walk on Thursdays at 9 p.m. And the infamous El Poo. What it do, brothers? First Lady, how's it going?
Great. Off to a great start this morning. I hope all you fellas are doing well today.
Walk, looking pretty sharp there, brother.
Hey, I'm on it, man. I'm wired. I'm still on that Miami high. And since I've been back, believe it or not, I got dumped again. Damn it. So ladies, I'm back on the market. That's why I said, let me look good. Let me catch something. Not catch something. Not catch something.
Well, we know you already caught something.
What it do, El Poo?
Yes, sir. Blessed and happy to be here once again.
Right. All right, let's get to it. And we're gonna shout out to the brother Floyd X in the ether. He'll come back. He'll drop in when he drops in. But shout out to the brother who's the boss and runs the show behind the scenes. So let's get into it. In the news, first up, we're gonna talk about this brother Travis King. Now, actually, Floyd X was supposed to come in on that, but you want to set that up for? Go ahead, First Lady. Read what you got first.
I'll set a little something up. Travis King, a U.S. soldier, crossed into North Korea on Tuesday, and he did so willingly and without authorization, according to U.S. and international officials. He's now believed to be in custody of North Korean armed forces.
This is a young brother who obviously got some mental problems going on, because he was actually stationed in South Korea, same place my son, what up, Gordy, was stationed at, and he got in trouble out there. He did some damage to like broke a window or something. He was in jail for like 2 months, and he got out. He was being transferred, and while he was being transferred, he darted across the border. Now, when you run across that border, that's really like an act of war, especially a U.S. soldier. So he's in custody now. And previously, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I don't have his name. Sorry, I apologize for that. But he, a white guy who, he didn't do the same thing, but he got in trouble. He got over there and he returned in a vegetative state and eventually died a few months later. So this is a very serious situation for our young brother. I think they need to send Rambo in there and go get him. Go get our brother, Travis.
Hey, I remember that story. You got to understand what's going on in there in North Korea. You can feel how you feel about America. You can feel about if you were dealing with some potential repercussions in the States, but what they got going on in North Korea, I don't know what that doesn't strike me as the ideal place to be seeking asylum. So, prayers for this brother. I'm definitely concerned about his family, but I know his mother was talking about just pray for him and hope he comes back and get him back. So, at the end of the day, I'm a root for the brother to come back and be okay. But don't be running over there in North Korea. What the hell is you thinking about? What you got to say about that, El Poo?
Yeah, the man obviously has some mental issues, because he's probably been listening to Trump and Dennis Rodman, thinking that Kim Jong-un is a good person. Let this be a lesson to you guys out there, you young people. North Korea is not the place to go to.
That's right.
Trust.
He's about to F around and find out. So what's the the next topic, First Lady?
The next topic I have is Miss Tiara Young, a Houston truck driver and influencer, has been detained for over 2 months in Dubai for screaming in public. Miss Tiara decided to go back and forth with a rental car agent who she claimed was being rude to her. He was accusing her of owing thousands of dollars that, she was not willing to pay. One thing led to another between the two, and now she has been detained since May.
Mm.
Now that's the story I heard. Go ahead, Walk. Go ahead.
She's locked up. They won't let her out. They ain't gonna let her out. See, here's my thing. We all have our theories on this. Listen, she calls herself, on Instagram, the sassy truck driver. She over there, like she's in Dubai. They have strict rules about how you dress. She wearing her tight little, she's sexy. She kind of cute. But that don't fly in Dubai. So she brought that American attitude out there. Where my rental car? Where my stuff at? Where my stuff at? And while she was talking, they was right behind her like, you're under arrest, man, because we have policies. Ain't none of that tolerated out here in Dubai. And 2 months later, here we are talking about it on the Focus Up Show. Free our sister.
Now that's the reality of it. When you're on foreign soil, you got to understand all those rights that you think you have over here that we always complain about, whether we do or we don't. You absolutely don't over there. So that's where you do not cut up. That having been said, an article that I just read today suggested that this is kind of a part of a racket that they do, where she may not have actually even been cutting up. She was basically trying to get her own property that this dude was trying to charge her some exorbitant amount for. And what they do is they'll just call up the police and make an accusation, and obviously they run with that, and they basically try to pressure you in to paying them some money to make to get away. So it's sort of like going to TJ, where the cops pull you over, and the bottom line is just give them a little something, and you'll be on your way. So this situation may not just be a black sister getting out of pocket, but I don't know. She is called, like Walk said, her name is the sassy truck driver. So on TikTok. So what you got to say about this, El Pooh?
Well, whenever you take a trip abroad, learn the lay of the land, learn the laws, learn the way that they treat people from out of the country, and just be careful.
Right.
That's right.
And I'm
go ahead.
I'm gonna say one thing. There's video of her. I think it's in Puerto Rico, cutting up. I'm telling you. So I'm supporting her. I hope she comes home, because you do not want to be locked up abroad. Abroad, that's locked up abroad.
Abroad locked up. Right?
Let's go, man.
All right. Next in the news topic, First Lady.
Next up in the news, we have Tupac Shakur. Police has searched the home of a man who claims to have witnessed his murder. Las Vegas police take thumb drives and audio recordings of Dwayne Davis, a.k.a. Keefe D, the uncle of longtime suspect Orlando Anderson.
What you got to say, Walk?
Okay, like people are thinking, from what I was hearing, people were saying, like, what could they possibly have? This is almost 30 years later. What could they possibly have on anybody? What evidence could they find? Keefe D, he talks a lot. He's all on YouTube talking. And guess what? They probably got recordings of himself. And what people are alleging is he was the actual shooter, not Orlando Anderson. See, that's the story he been telling. Keefe D been telling that Orlando the one that shot, because he the only one that's still alive that was in that car. It was 4 people in that car. He's the only one still alive. So I think they trying to get him as the shooter, and they probably got him on a thumb drive or something talking about it cavalier like nothing happened. You know how people do today.
So I actually think they're trying to just get him as an accomplice. The fact of the matter is, you talk about what he's been talking about. He hasn't been the only person talking about who was the person that shot. So, I'm just, That's what I'm saying. So, but the bottom line is that he has a lot of information, and they actually said that the investigation, or I guess the raid, they said the raid was successful. So the bottom line is they found what they were looking for. So we're gonna see how this plays out. But he doesn't have any type of immunity, anything. So he's absolutely is exposed to as accomplice of being there. So
Whoa, wait a minute. He may not have immunity, but he does have a proffer agreement out there from a few years ago.
Well, but that does not admonish you from prosecution for murder. Like that does not. So,
hey, can I interrupt real quick on this Tupac part? From what I understand.
Hey, how you doing there, Floyd X? Welcome to the show.
Hello. How are y'all? All right, what's up? What I want to say, from what I understand, is that they were looking for the actual murder weapon.
If he still has the murder weapon, he's a fool.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. But they say that as far as that proffer agreement, if he didn't disclose that he still had a weapon, that it nullifies or disqualifies that part.
I don't think he's that stupid.
Hey, we'll see.
We'll see. They don't put nothing behind nobody.
Keefe D, you can't be that stupid to still have it. Bro, if he is, boy, bro. Here's the murder weapon. Let's go. Come on.
All right. So our last, or what else you got up
there
first?
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one. Magic Johnson. The newcomer.
Go ahead, Walk. Go ahead, Walk. Go ahead.
Magic Johnson is now a co-owner of the Washington Commanders. Look at my boy. Yeah, he's doing it big. He getting it. Magic Johnson Theaters to the Fat Burger to the 24 Fitness. Look at this brother. This is an example of a great man. And then he went out. He celebrated with his family. And then we got some flack about this picture right here because that's not the one. But they was like saying EJ, EJ looking real kind of sassy trucker like bro. There you go. See, that's that picture right there. They was saying that this one is like that was photoshopped him in, and they was like treating him like he's not part of the family. Me personally, if he would have showed up at my house like that, I'd be like, look, bro, you gotta go home. You gotta go. You gotta go. I ain't with none of that, especially with some high heels. Yeah, that's me.
Look at EJ over there thinking to himself, damn, Pops, why you act like something wrong with me? You the one with AIDS.
Okay. Okay, so again, AIDS is not a gay disease. AIDS is not a gay disease. So anybody can get AIDS, whether it's from sex or from a needle, from blah blah blah, etc., a blood type of whatever. But let's go on. So
but the numbers are that the majority of people that get it is IV drug user and homosexual black men.
IV drugs. That's right. So now so let's finish with that. So now we're gonna flip on to our main topics. And you know what? Before that, we're gonna have a guest speaker coming in today. So we're probably gonna have Brother Floyd X do the proper introduction. So welcome, that sister. Go ahead, Brother Floyd X. I'm gonna give you the floor.
All right, let's welcome to the show an entrepreneurial focused executive support with over a decade of demonstrating success in leadership, problem solving, strategic planning, and implementation with solid business acumen. Her name is Miss Jeaniqua Francis. She's been the senior executive assistant at Link Housing, the event manager at SD Melanin. If y'all don't know what that means, that's San Diego Melanin. I know, like, we had a sister on here a few weeks ago that called me a melanated immigrant. I'm still trying to process that in my head. So let's get back to it. And she was an executive assistant at Broadcam and an executive assistant / project coordinating event specialist at UC San Diego. Let's welcome to the show, Miss Jeaniqua Francis.
Thank you. That was such a concise resuscitation of my resume. Thank you.
Hey, I want to add one thing too. I remember.
I love it.
Wait, I want to add one thing too. I remember I was in bed with my wife, like early in the morning in Las Vegas when I lived in Las Vegas, and I'm listening to the radio like, that sounds like Becky. it was Jeaniqua Francis on the radio, but that's a long time ago. But yeah,
back then, Jay Francis doing them traffic reports
Yeah.
in Vegas, filling in for my peoples out there.
That's what's
All
up.
right.
Well, welcome to the show, sister. We're
Thank
very,
you guys.
very, very happy to have you
Thank you,
here.
Floyd.
So let's
Thank
get
you
into
for
that.
the invitation.
So let's get into that first topic. So the first topic we want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about is this Carlee Russell situation. So, Walk, you want to set up this? You have a take on how this played out. There you go.
I'm diving deep, buddy. I'm digging for the truth. I'm digging for the truth. You know what? Here's the thing. It's obviously she lied. She lying. She lied about the whole incident. Carlee Russell, she claimed to be, she seen a baby on the side of the road, and she pulled over. She said that, and then she got abducted and was missing for like, what, 2-3 days? She lying. She made that up. But here, I have a theory on that. Y'all go. You guys go. I got a theory on that.
Okay, so let me say so in the investigation, they found out before she disappeared that she had like a robe, she had some snacks, she had done some internet searches on abduction and Amber Alerts. There was a lot of suspicious activity around this. The story didn't make any sense. They talked about this baby. Nobody else saw this baby on the interstate. They actually have video of her, where she was claiming it's supposed to be. And again, mindful, this was like, I think they said like a football field away from any other place. So this baby would have been on some Rugrats, like, wandering type stuff. Now, granted, if it was a setup, and that person was just in the woods, that's what it is. But there's no evidence of this. This sounds very reminiscent of a brother, Jesse Smollett. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I was one of the people that was saying, yo, it's ridiculous that you guys not supporting this brother and you jump into conclusions that this dude was making it up. And I was embarrassed because that was a clown situation. He absolutely made this up. Fooled me once. Shame on whatever how that thing goes. I'm not falling for this crap. This sounds fictitious. What you got to say about this first lady?
Innocent until proven guilty. No.
Right. Support our sister.
It's really conflicting and confusing. It has me perplexed. Like, why would she do such a thing? I'm just waiting for the results. I do personally feel like it's going to be another one of those situations where she was not truthful about what happened. And I feel like her boyfriend apparently felt like she lied too. That's one of the reasons why he started taking her pictures down. They're talking about it and all these memes are going out. It just, the dots are not connecting at this point.
You got something to say about that, Miss Jeaniqua Francis?
I do. Actually, I do. So I just recently learned that it wasn't accurate, but or her account wasn't accurate. But a couple things come to mind for me. One, that like, what is going on with this girl? I think there's some mental instability there that I know we are making light, but that is a serious problem. Like, there's something not right here with this girl that maybe we'll get to the root of, maybe we won't find out. But the other thing I think about is, it's irritating because I heard recently a statistic about how many Black women are missing and how many of their names we don't know. Right. And so I appreciate the fact that this is bringing light to that, the fact that Black women go missing regularly. And we're not even talking about like the missing Indigenous women too. There's outrageous numbers of Indigenous women that go missing every year in this country, that their names never make it to public conversation the way Miss Carlee's name did. And yet when white women go missing, we can't escape them, right? Whether it's factual or infactual. And then the type of backlash you get when you find out, say, that a white woman has gone missing is not the same. Or when you find out that a white woman falsely claimed to have gone missing, it's not the same as what we're seeing, the vitriol that we see towards Carlee. So it's conflicting. I agree with that, or at least I feel conflicted inside, that I'm angry that this woman, lied about the situation, but it also makes me feel sad for her that whatever is happening in her life caused her to think that this is an okay thing to do, right? And then also, I appreciate the fact that it's bringing light, or hopefully it's bringing light to the number of Black women that are missing, that hopefully we'll find out their names and can get some investigation into it. But there's a later subject coming up that makes me think that in this country, we won't really get any proper
That's right.
justice.
We had talked about that before, about that those Black women disappearing. You got something to say about this, Brother Floyd X?
Yes, I absolutely do. I think this is a travesty that this sister is giving this false information. I tried to be objective. I sat back, I heard her side, and then I watched the police interview. I watched it from beginning to end to make sure I'm not missing nothing. They was up there as kind, some good kind white people was up there like, we only coming with the facts. We only coming with the facts. And they said they trying to respect the family wishes and tell her and waiting before they grill her. Before they grill her, they say, okay, they wanted, she's been traumatized, so they're giving her time, but they're gonna grill her and get to the bottom of this lie, in my opinion, that she's putting out there. And it's bad for all of our sisters. What she's doing is really bad, because this is one case that everybody came and running and scrambling. We got to find it. We got to figure this out. For 2 days that she come walking home. She walked home, and they catch the what they call them, the ring phones on people places. They catch her just la walking to the house, and then when she got like a block away, she puts on a panic show, like she's in a whole frantic and running and all this other so-called trauma. Let me stop there because I see Jay walk with the gloves on. What's up?
I need that fade.
Let's go.
Hey, wait. Go.
I need that fade.
Jaywalk is the prop man.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me hold on. Let me clear the screen. It's gonna be me and you hit the head, bro. Let's go.
Okay. Black girls go missing all the time. Numbers of Black women missing. They knew she was lying from the gate. But that's why they gave this story so much traction. They gave this story so much traction in order to show like, oh, they all lying. Oh, you talking about all these missing Black girls. This is what they all lying. This is why this story is getting so much traction. This is why it's all in the news.
Hold on,
they
bro.
Knew she was lying. They had that video.
You saying they all lying? Who's all lying? All the police everybody?
They said all the missing Black girls, that they're all either just somewhere else.
Who says they all lying? I thought you wanted to fade to say that she's telling the truth. You want to say a fade that they all lying.
You should have been paying attention to the
What's
show,
the
Mr.
fade?
Behind the scenes.
What's the fade?
I told you, she lying.
All right.
I know that.
She's lying. Let's bring Mr. Nice Guy. Look like he got something to say.
Now we're gonna call a mistrial on this because no contest.
Yeah, no contest.
No, that's Walker's kind of being super conspiratory right there. So I don't know. Let's El Pool, what you got to say about this before we let him get back into this conspiracies?
Honestly, it's just a sad situation, and nobody wins in this. But the thing is, if she is lying, she needs to be held accountable. And I think her parents are actually protecting her at this point because they really don't know, but they probably know that she is lying, but you're still protective of your kids. The truth of the matter is,
say too, if I can. Oh, I'm sorry, Elpu. I thought you were finished.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say too, I have to believe, like, if you're gonna go to this extent and lie about saying you were missing for several days, there had to have been some signs beforehand too. Like, she had to have had some kind of behaviors that her family saw. I don't know. It's just all real fishy. But let me ask you, because y'all all seem to be very well informed on these things. Did y'all hear this thing about the guy who said he was her brother, but it's not really her brother? He went online saying that she was missing. He was concerned. No one's heard that. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
that was me.
You probably started to GoFundMe or something like that.
Yeah, them liars. They come out the woodwork. They come out the woodwork. Them liars.
Do you know what you're about to say?
She's a young, beautiful Black woman. They had a lot of pictures of her. They had one picture where she was like in a bikini. She's beautiful. And just on that alone, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
We should absolutely have compassion because again, this screams some type of mental illness, like Sister Jeaniqua was saying. I mean, there's got to be some motivating factor other than just she's trying to do this for attention, or I mean, it could have been that, but I mean, this is definitely a cry for help or something. But this was an abuse of our public attention. Because I mean, people were really worried about her, and I mean, I saw post after post. Oh, so happy she was found alive, and I didn't know too much about it, but I was just like, wow, these things usually don't end too well. I'm glad that this ended well, and then this played out. I'm like, damn it, they got me again. So
And the truth is,
black girls, a black person, another one lying. See, this is what they want us to believe and see. This is what this is all about. This is why they propped up this whole story. They're putting in like all these black girls are just making up stuff. Everybody talk about these numbers of black women just disappearing. They all lying. They all making up stuff. That's what they want us to believe. I'm telling you, I've been digging deep.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about these conspiracies. You assuming that all of this is this great concerted effort and stuff like that. These people are just dealing with the information and it played out. I mean, the bottom line is you don't know this was fake. The white folks would, if she crafted all this stuff up, you would not know that it was fake until you start investigating, unless you was watching her from the very beginning. Now, if you're saying that Big Brother was an eye in the sky and saw that she was lying from the very jump, then I suppose that would be some basis for you to go all super conspiracy. But the fact of the matter is, they found out like we found. Well, they found out before because they just did an investigation and the facts didn't add up. So I mean, that's just what it is.
They did an investigation on Rodney King. They did an investigation on JFK, who got his brains blew out.
Rodney King actually got his ass beat. JFK actually got murdered. This female did not get abducted.
So what you just said is you ain't saying it right, because you're saying he got murdered. We know that, but the question is who murdered him. That's what we're talking about.
You talking about Rodney King?
No, the JFK.
He said Rodney King. You say who murdered him? I mean,
listen,
we still don't know,
brother. Listen.
We still
Come
don't
on,
know.
You're not hearing.
First of all, that we can have that debate, but I'm saying that they don't know who murdered JFK. That conspiracy is still as big as ever.
Do I gotta clear this?
My point proven.
Hallelujah. See, we'll save that for another show. We'll talk who killed JFK.
Hey,
you made my point, baby boy.
We'll talk about who killed Malcolm and we'll talk about who killed JFK.
Yeah. You made my
same
point.
Person. The same team killed both of them. Same team.
Thank you.
And they also cloned Tyrone. Come on now.
That's right.
I need to see that.
Are we done? So are we finished or are we done with this subject topic?
I think
if we are, we should probably go into the breaks for the commercials, the shout outs.
Agreed.
The show. Okay, let's go to the commercials.
What about that conspiracy, brother?
Tyrone.
We'll start off with our brother La Brea Trucking. City to city, town to town, he delivers. Call Muhammad Meats for all your halal meat needs. The meat man. He got the meats. You want some meat? Meet him.
I was trying not to say pause, but that was a lot of pause-worthy comment there.
All right. Let's go to Toppy Woppy.
I'm from the city of Compton, where you want to get your plugs. Light green and fluffy, sticky, smelly, and lovely. Got that powder too, you know what it do. Caribbean flavor, sit still on my plate. Bust do what they can.
Toppy Woppy, available on all music platforms. Check them out. Next up, who we got here? Who now? Anybody else? Anybody else?
So we always
Buddy
gonna
Bud
shout out-
Music.
That's
Buddy
right.
Bud Music. Salute to Buddy Bud. He brought us our highest numbers on the Focus Up show, and guess who brought them on? Public Relations Manager. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Lil Sody Music, Jason Link. Let me stop. Anyway, let's go. Everybody, yo.
Homies
I'm
Way
stop
Car
shouting out
Club.
these guys if you don't come on the show.
Homies Way Car Club. Shout out to JC, foundational Focus Up member. And also, we're going to shout out to Go Be Alive, gobealive.org for some black honey.
Hey,
You got to make her a commercial for it, since she did have some very informative things to say. I was there like, damn, is my skin kind of... I'm like, am I getting light skin? I'm getting light skin from honey.
All right.
We might need to avoid
Don't
her.
forget the most important one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I know
that
he's
was
supposed to do the most important one. I was waiting.
All right,
for
don't forget the most important one.
There you go.
Right.
Focus Up show every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Saturday. That's right. So
Not some Saturday like somebody do a show some Thursday.
Every other first Thursday.
Next talk with Walk. Three times a year.
3 times a year. Wow. All right.
Got a lot going on. I got dumped, man. No, I'm just kidding.
So all right, so the next topic we're gonna, and this is our main topic that we're gonna have to Sister Jeaniqua speak on, but this is the Tulsa lawsuit dismissal, the situation that played out just recently. So you wanna just jump right into that, sister?
Sure. Yeah. So, there was a lawsuit brought by the remaining living remaining victims of the Tulsa race massacre that was dismissed with prejudice on July 7th. And it's, yeah, you have to forgive me, I'm a little irritated when I start talking about it, but it was dismissed with prejudice, which means that this case can't be brought back up under the same it can't be brought back into this court. However, it can be appealed, which the lead attorneys are doing. They're appealing it to a higher court. They've already begun preparing their case. But as I was doing some research, something I found kind of interesting. Well, first, actually, before I go into what I found interesting, what they were claiming is that under Oklahoma's nuisance laws, that the victims of this massacre have suffered greatly and continue to suffer greatly for what was done with them, and not only what was done to them, their neighbors, their family members, but continue to suffer, and no legal retribution was ever met for that, or legal justice was ever received. And so the judge, who is a proclaimed constitutional conservative, said that they can't continue to claim, or cannot claim, that they are suffering because of what has happened, in essence, in a nutshell. And so I think that's one of the things I find kind of irritating about this situation. So anyhow, it was thrown out, and it is currently being appealed. And for those who might not be familiar, which from talking with y'all just this short time, I know y'all are probably well versed in what happened in 1921, how the whole Greenwood district was leveled by the state, as well as vigilante white mobs, over something that was inaccurate, but regularly used as a weapon against successful Black communities in order to tamp down Black wealth and just Black existence in general.
That is absolutely a travesty. You know, we talked about reparations before, and this is a situation where it's very clear cut. I mean, this is not just a situation where now we have to dig up and find all of this. And you're talking about what America has done, all this. This was a very specific incident of Oklahoma, of Tulsa, Oklahoma, that there's a black eye on them, that they should actually, this was an opportunity a public relations opportunity for them to step up. You're dealing with just 3 defendants, so you're not dealing with reparations for all, what's the term? I forgot, the foundational Black Americans. So you're talking about, you're dealing with 3 descendants. So this was a real succinct, achievable public relations opportunity that they just decided to throw away, basically because they said, well, look, this is just going to open the door up for everybody that felt that they were done in the wrong. No. This was something particular. This was some particular heinous. This is something particularly tied to your city, your state. This is your opportunity to step up without some super great financial burden. So, this is what.
If I can add to, I think it's very specific why it was thrown out too. It's not, I don't even think it's just a matter of, I think that's correct, that it's a matter that it would open the gates, but it's very specific to Tulsa too, because you have people currently in power in Tulsa who benefited and are in the places that they are in, not just politically, but financially, because of the ruin that came from that. So then this opens the door to a very specific population there to be held accountable for what their ancestors did, but not only just what their ancestors did, but how they themselves are benefiting from the actions of what their ancestors did.
Exactly, because it's deeper than just the three people, the 3 individuals that's still alive. That's like, they damn near 100. They damn near 100. Some of them was
not
like
damn
7
near,
years
they are
old.
100. They're in their hundreds.
They're in their 100. But see, this is why they just threw it out. Because guess what? It was over 100 people that was murdered and killed.
Well, over
businesses and properties.
Actually, we believe, we don't have specific numbers, but we know from findings in mass graves in the area that there were over 300 people. We don't know the exact numbers, but there was over 300 at least.
And that's why
a whole lot more.
That's why they threw it out.
And furthermore, and this is, I think, one of the things that gets to the heart of white supremacy and how we see it operating today, is if you look at how, in the many instances, because this is just one instance of hundreds where Black communities were destroyed, it always comes down to the greed of white folks and them wanting our money and wanting to destroy us and wanting to force us, or to continue to force us into a place of subserviency to them, and to continue acting out the white supremacy they were very comfortable with having on a public scale and as their norm. And so when they saw, one, because Black folks in this community and other communities were discriminated against and not allowed to use their stores and things like that, or use them in the ways that they wanted them to use, when we started making our own, that's a threat to them, right? And so they had to destroy that threat, and they used every means they had possible or available to them to do that, from the government to vigilantism, right? And then when Black folks came back and wanted those reparations and wanted to make it right through judicial, and I'm still talking about back then, because this is not the first case that has come up where people wanted reparations for what was done and to be made whole. Insurance companies told them, no, we won't honor your claims, because many people did try to they held insurance on their companies, their businesses, their homes, and they said, no, we won't honor them. And in fact, a lot of the victims and people who came back who said they wanted to be made whole, they were prosecuted. And those prosecutions were held up because they said they were the cause of the problem. And then in the courts, there were cases that were dismissed similarly. To my knowledge, this was the third one.
Yeah, definitely. What about the descendants? The descendants and the parents of all those that was killed and murdered. It's like it will open up a whole trap of just legal allegations and money that was supposed to be paid. And she dismissed this case. And she really, normally when a judge gives a ruling in this nature, they have a little speech or something. She didn't give one. She didn't give one at all. So that just shows.
Other than just hate. And one of the things as I was researching this, one of the things that I found that I found most egregious and grieving, or that grieved me rather, about this, is just thinking about, part of what the explanation that she did provide was saying it was focused on the monetary with neglect and I think straight out denial of the like generational damage and trauma okay, you look at the trauma that was done to the victims, but the trauma done to the entire community, and not in the community beyond just Tulsa, but Black folks in general. But if you narrow it and focus it, it just negates everything beyond the financial, right? And the damage that was done beyond the financial is far more severe when you think about. I saw one quote from the relative of a survivor, and he said how I think it was his uncle, he found pride in Tulsa, in not Tulsa, but in Greenwood specifically, in himself and what his community had done and how they built that from scratch, and how this severely tarnished that, and how it truly damaged people and damaged whole generations of folks. It wiped out generations of people to come, and wiped out the ability for some generations to be able to continue to provide. Like, these were, if you looked at one stretch in Tulsa, there was, I think, like 17 businesses. You had like 4 hotels. You had like 3 lawyers' offices. All this stuff. Actually, no, I wrote it down. I had to write this down because I found it fascinating. Where in one stretch you had 4 hotels, 2 newspapers, 8 doctors' offices, 7 barbers, 9 restaurants, and 6 professional offices that included real estate agents, dentists, and lawyers. Now, just think about, this was in 1921 where these existed, and it was completely wiped out. Think about what could have been passed on to these people's children, and that was just in one stretch. That was in like a 2-block radius of one stretch of Greenwood Avenue, which is what they call Black Wall Street. And how the impacts of that generationally. And so with this being dismissed without, it just has no regard for that, which then leads to, in my mind, the thoughts of just, they have no regard for our humanity.
Well, that's the case. We always talk about that with, with the Florida.
That was a horn. Wait, hold on. That was a horn. Where you at today? Wake up, back.
We know their boogeyman of critical race theory is that they don't want any type of accountability. So anything that points back to them making amends for something that they did is something that's a trigger and egregious for them. But First Lady, I want to give you an opportunity to come in there. You want something to offer something to this discussion? You are muted, sister.
When does our lives matter? Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, they should be ashamed of themselves for trying to rob these 3 people. Only 3 people, after over 300 lives have been lost, over 1,200 homes have been damaged. And to say that a person is still not going through it emotionally or mentally, I believe one of the survivors was 7 years old when it happened. As a child, that's traumatizing enough. So to feel like, they're not still going through it, but what happened in the past and could be traumatized. Who are you to say you're not in their body to know how they feel? That alone is disturbing to me, and it just saddens me because that's where my grandmother and my great grandmother now are from, and they're all deceased now, and it just makes me want to get out there and protest against this.
Yeah.
El Pooh, you got something to say about this?
It kind of reminds me of the Dred Scott versus Sanford case. What was it? 1857, where the Supreme Court ruled that African Americans are not citizens of the United States and could not sue in federal court. That's still in the books. They don't care about us. They never will care about us. They don't respect us. And do I think we're going to ever get reparations? Hell no.
Hey, brother Floyd X, you gonna let that drop? You gonna let that drop speak for you? What you got to say? You got something else to say about this?
Hey, brother, I was fortunate enough to be in Tulsa, back in June. I went out there, went to the museum, and then being out there, it was surreal. That the pride that our Black folks particularly take out there, when you come across Black Street, when you go to Black Wall Street and you run across the people that's there and the pride that's taken, they trying to rebuild it. They got Black owned businesses there, and they take great pride in knowing that this is where we was building something. We're gonna keep this thing alive. And I want to bring up real quick that for people that don't know, the Gap Band is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the whole acronym, is that the right word? Acronym?
Yeah, Greenwood Orchard Pine.
Greenwood Orchard Pine. That's what the Gap band stands for, because they take great pride in what they built back there. So I mean, and as far as the travesty of the dismissal of the lawsuit, there's nothing new to us as Black folks. We just got to keep on fighting. And like when I listen to brothers like Tariq Nasheed and everybody feel like reparations is on the way. Hopefully one day they'll get paid for this. And sorry to say, our elders who are in their hundreds, they probably won't see it, but hopefully their next generation may see it. But we just got to keep fighting this white supremacy, because we know it's alive and real.
And whether you get reparations, whether you actually succeed getting reparations or not, it's really, you will at least hold them accountable. You'll be forcing them to deal with the fact that they're not trying to make people whole for something that they're absolutely benefited from. That's real. They try to keep putting it in the past. They always like, oh, this is something that happened a long time ago. You celebrate every year something that happened a long time ago, July 4th, 1776. So we're talking about what happened July 1776 or July 4th till December 23rd to 100 of years after. So it's not just that one day. We're talking about that day that you celebrate and every day after that for a very long time, where all this type of stuff happens. So it's just that's just their insensitivity.
Well, the problem is,
can I just?
Well, let me just say one
I was
thing.
just going to say, if I could add on that note specifically. I mean, you raised a good point, and First Lady Jay, you raised a good point too when you were saying about how they were saying they can't relate to us. I think part of the problem is they can. I think that these white people, if this were to have happened to them, and when the slightest of offenses have happened to them, and how they lose their mind, they expect response, they expect reparations, and it's just outright denied to us when there's evidence of it. I think it's very intentional what they're doing, and when you talk about Mr. Nice Guy, when you talk about how them remembering something that's happened a long time ago, but constantly telling us, oh, you need to move on. That's part of the gaslighting. That's by design, right? That they're doing this.
El Poo?
I was getting ready to say, each generation that comes about doesn't want to be accountable for the generation before them. So as long as it keeps going on, I don't think we're ever going to be able to hold them accountable for something that their ancestors done, because all they're going to say is all they're going to say is that was not me that did this, and I'm not responsible for something that happened that my grandfather did to your grandfather. That's all they're going to do. They're going to use that excuse every time.
Let me read something that was said by this is the actual attorney for the state, for the Chamber of Commerce of Tulsa. He's the attorney. He's like the defense attorney. He said, what happened in 1921 was a really bad deal. And those people did not get a fair shake. But it was over 100 years ago. That's John Tucker. Mm-hmm. That's cold blood just to say so. That's callous. Like, so what? See, they have no relation to us, so they have no connection, and they don't care.
But I'll say this. Oh, go ahead, Floyd X.
I know when I was in the nation, Mr. Farrakhan, he taught us one thing. He said, power concedes to nothing but a greater power.
Real talk.
So, well, I'll say this. I think
do anybody get a horn? Does anybody else?
They the producers. They can sell horns. But nah. I'll say this. There is this is not a lost cause, because there are people in high places that have sensitivity to this type of thing. For example, in this case, I definitely don't want to be trying to offer up no white knight, recognition or anything like that. But I will say there was that one rich white dude that donated $1 million to these 3 survivors based on this, and he's got a book there's something about like, wealth and white or something where he really addresses like white
You
accountability.
know what's his name? You know his name?
So I was trying to pull it up,
That's big, bro.
It's big, yeah, I know.
I'm like,
It's
I
big.
got my
Fix your screen, Flores. Fix your screen, brother.
Man, let me fix this real quick. Come on, brother.
Anyway,
His name is okay, so
if you go, because I never heard that.
no. I'll give you his name.
it's a white man that tried to help.
His name is Ed. Stop it. Shut up, fool. Listen, you gonna let me finish. You're gonna let me finish. His name is Ed Minson, co-founder of the New York-based nonprofit Business for Good. So this is one of the things where he talked about, and I said he wrote a book that was called like White Wealth and White, where he's basically saying that white people need to take accountability for the things that we've benefited from, based on our situation versus their situation. So my point is that if you have an example of a white person in power that can take that type of position, there's hope that other white people will have that some type of accountability.
Whoa.
I'm talking about
I'm about to clear the screen. I'm clearing the screen. Let's go.
Go ahead. Go, Miss Jeaniqua. Cousin
I'm very
Becky.
interested
What
in
you
this
got
book.
to say, Cousin Becky? Family.
I'm very interested in this book, and there is validity to I have interest in what this person is saying. I do not go as far as saying there is hope, though, just because one white guy recognizes that, okay, he has wealth based off of the trauma, the abuse, the death, that has happened to our community. I do not go that far. I think that's a really long stretch.
All I'm saying is
a really long stretch.
All I'm saying is it demonstrates that a white person is even capable of taking that position. A rich white person.
Yes.
It's one thing to have a liberal college white person say that type of stuff. That's not far fetched for me. When you're in college and you're thinking all this stuff like that.
That's the argument, though. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off, but what I want to say is that that's not the argument. It's not even a matter that it's evidence. It's proof, right? He is one person who said one thing, who recognizes one thing, but that does not mean that a whole community that is invested in this has hope to be recovered. Because we
can't be worried about that community. There's nothing you can do about that community. What you hope for is that a person making decision makes that decision. Again, we're talking about what a judge did. So we're never gonna get white people to buy into all of that stuff. Just like for that same thing that we were arguing about. What you about to say, brother Floyd?
Is Ed Mintz a decision maker? You saying people in power? Is he a decision maker?
He's actually a decision maker. He's not a decision maker as far as this particular case is concerned, but he's a big decision maker because he's a rich white person doing what he did. So I'm just saying,
I disagree with you, nice.
Wait, no. My point is that
disagree with you, nice guy.
Nice guy.
You conflated that. You conflated.
No. You hey, tell me what my position was, and so before you can sit there, what was my position?
You said that one white person. One rich white person being kind shows that there's
no. One
my ass. Yeah,
that's what you said.
I have to clarify what I'm saying.
No. It sounds like it's a rich white person trying to sell some books.
Wait. Listen. I said Again, I said one rich white person talking about accountability is I'm saying that this is an example of that a white person is capable of reaching this conclusion. So the bottom line is when you're trying.
Keep going.
Wait. Let me. I got something.
Actually said that based on the fact that it was actually done, it is proof that that's capable of being done. Is that not what you said?
It's no. It's proof that a person can reach that decision.
I was saying that I was never saying that you're going to win over white people masses because again, just like this whole Trump thing.
That's what you were saying. That's what you were saying. That's what you insinuating.
No. I said you could get reparations because if you get a decision maker to make that decision,
he's not a decision. He's just a rich white guy.
Wait. I'm giving you an example
he's that decision maker.
He's not a decision. Wait. Listen, I said you can get a decision maker. Is it possible that you can get a decision maker to agree with this position?
Yeah, we had one. His name was Abraham Lincoln, and he got killed.
Well, I'm just saying, but answer that. That's a yes or no question.
I have a better example of currently. You have someone like who is it? What is it? Bernie I can't. Oh man, I couldn't remember if it's Bernie Sanders and like
Bernie
taking
Sanders.
it to wealth, right? He's a decision maker, but that's one guy, right?
Well, again, one guy might actually make a decision that makes a rule. Trump's one guy, and he did a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, that's kind of the situation. Go ahead, Brother Walt.
That's true, but
get my horn ready. You know what that guy gave $1 million, and you know what that's called? A tax write-off.
Your horn was crappy, just like your tape.
Yeah, tax write-off, buddy. Yeah.
See, you can't, if you ask for something and then you get something, and then you basically,
stop.
Hey, nice guy. You know that was a good ass point.
He said a tax write-off?
Yeah, you know what Walk just said was a good ass point.
Actually, no, I don't believe that was a good ass point.
It was a tax write-off. One rich white guy. I'm going to let me.
You know what? Let me speak about this tax write-off. This is the funny thing that people always bring up. They're like, "Oh, this is a tax write-off. Check this out. A tax write-off means you get a percentage of that discount. You know what would be better than getting 10% or 30% or tax whatever? Keeping all that money. Tax write-off is way overblown. You know what I'm saying?
Nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's, keeping $1 million is way better than getting a tax write-off for giving $1 million away.
Tax write-off. Listen, a tax write-off is big. You got people who sitting here.
What's bigger, $1 million or a tax write-off of $1 million?
Let me say something, nice guy. You got people when the stock market goes to $5, if they depending on how much they got invested, they lose their mind or they get excited. So the little with what you're talking about is small, is big to rich people.
And
so a tax write-off is big to rich people. Write that off.
What's bigger?
Write it off. Write it off. Write it off.
What's bigger?
And it looks good. And it looks good that you did that. Yeah. You're here talking about that. We talking about the Tulsa reparations.
Bam,
and you're talking about it.
Well, you know what? He's the only one that actually did something about it. He's the only person that did something about that. We sitting there talking with him, and he actually put $1 million on it.
Yeah. Good job, White, Mr. Ed Minson. Good job. Very smart of you. Very smart. You got you bought a defender. His name is Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, I'm not. Hey, I'm
bought and paid for, baby. Got the receipt. Because this show is recorded. He got the receipt.
And you know what's for sure? Again, his ledger shows that he paid $1 million in Floyd Eggs and Walk and Mr. Nice Guy. We ain't paid zero. Now, Jeaniqua, she's been doing her work behind the scenes. She's, you read that resume about the foot to the floor that she's been doing on this particular argument. So I'm not including you on this system. You've done your part, but I'm just saying that I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've done more than that one white man did for those 3 people, because I ain't done nothing.
Oh my God,
bro! And paid.
Wait, did I do something for those 3 people?
Wait.
Hey, Jeaniqua,
$1 million go a long way.
Hey,
he ain't the only one.
He ain't the only one. You know that. Did you understand my point? That one white dude did more than I did for those 3 people.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely I hear your point.
You said I've done more for those 3 people than that one white dude did?
Yes, you did.
Point.
Okay, then
you live in every day, brother.
What did I do?
Yeah, you live in every day. It's a tax write-off. He getting it, just laughing about it. He is not like really giving an F about them.
I don't know what he's giving up. I'm not in somebody's head.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, stop that. You talking about?
But
go ahead. No, I'm gonna give Jeaniqua Francis.
Hey, go ahead, Miss Francis. Go ahead.
Yes, if you hear them slip, my nickname is Becky. I'm their cousin. That's my cousin. But look, I don't begrudge this man. One, I can't speak to what's in this man's heart. I don't know, right? And I'm not going to claim to judge him over this tax write-off, which he did get, right? We're certain he got. But I agree with your point, Mr. Nice Guy, that, at least he's doing something. Now, I'm not saying that he's the savior or that we owe him anything, because we don't owe this man nothing.
Nothing.
And
nothing. Don't owe him nothing. Don't owe him nothing.
And y'all ain't right for that.
They owe and they still owe. and they still owe. So you know what I'm saying? The ledger is not clear.
Yeah.
You sure giving him a lot of props for his business, sir.
Again,
He just raised the
don't
point.
understand
Actually,
business.
you conflated, you blew it all up. He just raised the point about that specifically in his book.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that there's somebody sensible from your family. Give me my horn.
let me fix my screen real quick. I got
Thank
I gotta
God.
clean this screen up a little. That's a little
Oh.
bad.
Hey!
That's why y'all got to take the class. Y'all
He
got the link.
dismissed.
Take the class. That's the word I'm gonna use from now. Y'all are hereby dismissed. You're dismissed, Mr. Nice Guy. You're dismissed.
Man.
Take the class, motherfucker. Take the class.
With the receipt.
But that was cool. I think it was anybody else want to say? We talking about the Tulsa.
Well, I do have the list of demands, not the demands, but some of the things that was in the lawsuit that was filed.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
go.
Lay
Lay it out, Walk. Lay it out. Lay it out.
They was asking for a detailed accounting of property loss and stolen goods as a result of the attack, and construction of a hospital in North Tulsa, and Tulsa Victims Compensation Fund. Those are some of the things that was asked for in this lawsuit with the three individuals. I'm sorry I did not write their name down, but those were just a few things. I guess there's no hospital in North Tulsa.
Wait, it look like
I
Jeaniqua
have
got the
victims'
names.
I got
right.
the names. Yes.
Let's go.
Give me 1 second. Let me scroll to them because I think it's actually quite important that we remember these folks. Right.
I agree.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tyrone. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop it. Oh man, let me find it. Wait, and while I'm looking for that though too, I did want to share, and I'll send it to y'all. So if you want to put it on your website, about a resource I think that's really good. If you want to see the extent of the damage that was done.
Ooh, that's good. That's good information.
And it's this. It's actually like a graphic that takes you through seeing like truly the scale of what was done and how much was lost. And I mean, obviously we hear about Black Wall Street, which was just the main thoroughfare, but the whole community. And when you hear even 36 or 35 blocks that were destroyed,
let me say that.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. This was the first time in U.S. American history where an American, because they had a airplane fly over it and they dropped like helium bombs or something. It was the first time that a bombing happened on U.S. soil from the U.S. for a Black community.
They took airplanes from World War I and used them on citizens.
I mean, and they used a little bit of everything. There was even dynamite that they dropped from the air from those airplanes, and they have the resources to do this to us and no repercussions. Hold on, let me look it up. I had it. I thought I had a screenshot of it.
The repercussions. They were able to do it without the worry of repercussions.
They were bullies.
You said there was bullies?
Yeah, they were bullies.
Hell yeah.
It was the government, fool. What you talking about? And they opened fire. They opened fire into crowds.
Like I said, Dred Scott.
Gun juice.
They don't look at you as a U.S. citizen anyway, so.
Okay. In this, I just
take it too long, Miss
Presley. The names are Viola Fletcher. Actually, let me see if I can click on it. Viola Fletcher, Hughes Van Ellis Sr., and then the third, I just have the last name. It's Randall. And they're all over 100 years old. I think it's 107, 109, and I think the other maybe 103.
If you got all three of them over 100, you know that they was eating something good and healthy for all them from that one concentrated area to be over 100 years old. We got to consider their diet.
What?
But hey, Walk. There's one thing I wanted to say about the riot. The last thing I want to say about it is